Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Shaiva Naruttamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirahi. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityaṁ bhāgavata-sevayā. Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Aradhayo Bhagavan Vrajeshatanayastadhama Vrindavanam. Ramya Kachitupasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Va Kalpita. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam pramanam amalam prema pumartho mahan. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu matamidam tatradharana para. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale. Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear worshipful devotees, thank you so much for joining for the daily reading of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. We are reading Canto number 10, chapter 23, entitled The Brahmana's Wives Blessed. And we're almost towards the end of this chapter. So I think we last read till text number 44, where the Brahmanas are recognizing the exalted, position of their wives, that although they did not go for, like Gurukul and Yagyas and Tapa, in the traditional system, the boys would go to Gurukul, but the females would get the education from their parents at their very home, the culture, the values, the sanskara. So externally, they were not great yogis, great, technically learned and this and that, but they had the most essential ingredient required for bhakti, and that is love for Krishna. Rest all is secondary. So the Brahmanas are appreciating that. They are not, they have been humbled, and they are realizing that we made a mistake, and they are realizing the superior nature of their wives in terms of bhakti. So it's a great lesson that we should always see good in others, even though they may be our children, they could be spiritually advanced, they could be our wives, they could be spiritually more advanced, or anyone, someone who came much later to us in bhakti, in Krishna consciousness, they could be more spiritually advanced. So with that, let's move on to the next verse, text 45. 45 also we read. 46. And anyone recalls if we read this one? 46? I don't think. 45 we read for sure. Okay, let's read it. Anyatha purna kamasya kevalyadi ashisham pate ishit vyai kim asmabhir ishayai tad vidambanam. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, Abhichudana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Otherwise, why would the Supreme Controller, whose every desire is already fulfilled and who is the master of liberation in all other transcendental benedictions, and at this pretense with us, who are always to be controlled by him. Purport. Although Lord Krishna is the absolute truth, he humbly sent his cowherd boy friends to beg food from the Brahmanas. In so doing, he exposed the Brahmanas' foolish arrogance and established the glories of his own transcendental beauty by attracting their very wives to surrender at his lotus feet. So all these verses are basically reflections or thoughts of the Brahmanas. That why would Krishna send his friends, right? In the previous words, we basically means Brahmanas, that we deviated from the real aim, which is Krishna consciousness. We were busy in the karma and yajna, and then the simple cowherd boys reminded us of what is real dharma, what is real goal of life. So this verse continues on the same theme. So Krishna sends his representatives to help us. The other day also, just yesterday, I think, day before, we were talking about this story on Sunday morning, how Krishna sends his representatives to when we deviate from our true dharma. Why? Because he really loves us. He loves us more than we love him. Like a father, even if the child goes in the wrong path, the father still loves the child, right? The mother still loves the child, although they don't want him or her to go to the wrong path. And their doors are always open for him to, if they need any help from the parents to come back to the right path, the parents will always support them. Even though they may have had made wrong choices in the past, they'll not say, hey, why you did that? It's okay, right? Similarly, Brahmanas made some wrong choices. They deviated from the path, but Krishna wanted to help them because Krishna, Namo Brahmane Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya to Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. He's very dear to the Brahmanas, and the Brahmanas are very dear to him. Like the next chapter, we'll talk about the story of Govardhan Puja. Indra also deviated from his real, forgot his position. So sometimes learning, position, money can basically deviate us from the real goal. But Krishna is kind and he does not want his devotees to deviate. So he makes arrangements. So in this case, he made arrangements via the medium of the cowherd friends and sent them. So the Brahmanas are reflecting upon this. Why would Krishna do so, right? He doesn't need anything from him, right? His every desire is fulfilled. That's a beautiful verse used. Purna Kama Asya. He is the one who is fulfilling everyone's desire. Purna means complete. He is the one who gives Ashisham, Ashirvad, right? Ashirvad means benediction or blessings, right? He is the one who gives everyone, right? So what is, what was the reason he sent? Right? It's not that they were hungry, right? That was just an external reason or external arrangement to basically bring Brahmanas on track, right? And also, Krishna does multiple things. Like in this Leela, he's of course blessing the Brahmanas' wives, as the chapter title is, Brahmanas' wives blessed. But he's also humbling the Brahmanas. In the Govardhan Leela, he's humbling Indra, but he's also giving chance for all the Vrajavasis to enjoy in different rasas under the Govardhan Hill, to be with Krishna 7 days, 7 nights full. So some are playing, some are enjoying his flute, some are having the Vatsalya rasa, and Madhurya rasa, and friendship, and all the rasas are being exchanged. At the same time, Indra is being humbled. So we see that everywhere, right? Ahlad Dadaini Hiranyakashipu Vakshaha, right? He killed Hiranyakashipu and give ananda or give pleasure to Prahlad also. So Krishna does that in almost all of his pastimes. In one stroke, he does so many things. So that's our dear Lord Purushottam. Any other thoughts in this connection? Anyone has? As beautifully mentioned in this purport, you see. He exposed the Brahmana's foolish arrogance and established his own glories by attracting the wives of the Brahmanas. So, Paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya cha dushkritam. Right? So in this case, they're not dushta, but the dushta propensity is being destroyed. Right? And of course, he's Paritranaya sadhunam. He's like protecting the devotees. He's protecting their faith. He's enhancing the love of his devotees. So he does that all the times. Okay. Next verse. Anyone would like to read? 47. Yes, I should. Want to try?
Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhuji, yes, I will try. I can try.
Okay.
Dandavat Pranam devotees. Text 47. Hitvan yayan bhajate yam krit Śrī yam Śrī padas parsasaya sakta swatma dosa pavargena tad yachana janamohini. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and his disciples. Prabhupada ki jai. Prabhupada disciples ki jai. Hoping for the touch of his lotus feet, the goddesses of fortune perpetually worships him alone, leaving aside all others and renouncing her pride and fickleness. That he begs is certainly astonishing to everyone. Purport: the Supreme Master of Goddess of Fortune herself obviously does not have to beg for food, as pointed out here by the Brahmanas, who are finally manifesting real spiritual intelligence. Haribol Prabhuji.
Share some thoughts, Mataji. Thank you for reading this nice verse.
Yeah, I think, as you said in the previous text, the realizations and comparing to what Brahmanas, I think, are realizing, right? And every example, each and every example that they are taking, which is adding to how much of a greatness is Lord Krishna in every rasa. In which here in this text, goddess Lakshmi, who serves Krishna, she's the goddess of fortune, right? She is always serving Krishna alone, trying to touching the lotus feet of Krishna, soothing him, and he doesn't have to beg for anything in particular, but he came or sent his friends to liberate or give the real intelligence to Brahmana. Not exact, as you mentioned in the earlier text, it's not exactly the begging. He's all with mystic powers and the fortune already having, so he doesn't have to beg anything, but it's all about providing intelligence to the unintelligent people. So Active. Is correct.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. You know, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, or the path of bhakti or Krishna consciousness, is full of contradictions. Right? Like the famous bhajan we're singing these days, Chaurashtakam. No one glorifies a thief, but in bhakti we're glorifying a thief, right? And generally, if someone is rich, have you heard, oh, a billionaire begging on the road? Billionaire or millionaire asking for food? That doesn't match. It's like on one side you're saying, oh, he's a millionaire, and then other side you're saying, oh, he's asking for food from ordinary people. Doesn't what do we call these words? There's a word in the English. It's not flipping in my head.
What, Prabhu? What for what?
Like it's ironic. It's ironic.
Irony. Oh, no. Oxymoron.
Yes, oxymoron. Correct. One day, what is it? I was joking, like, oh, famous oxymoron. No, the happy marriage. So it's like the millionaire beggar. It's like, I mean, these days anything can happen, but generally, if one is a millionaire, then why would they beg? If Krishna is God, He's the supreme controller, supreme bhokta, the supreme proprietor, the supreme, cause of all causes, and he's begging. He's asking his friends to beg for food. This is atyanta vidambana. Ashcharya rupo nanuchara udrik drishta shrutovana mayaka. This is very ashcharyajanak. This is very astonishing. This is very surprising, right? So, as we see I was reminded of this word, vidambanam, so maybe we can read this verse from Mata Kunti's prayers, and someone can read this from the...
Can I?
Yeah, yes, Mataji, please.
Dhanavad pranam devotees, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Janma karma cha vishwatman ajayasya karturatmanaha tiryam rishtishu yadasu tad antyantam vidambanam. Of course it is bewildering, O soul of the universe, that you work, though you are inactive, and that you take birth, though you are the vital force and the unborn. You yourself descend amongst animals, men, sages, and aquatics. Verily, this is bewildering. Back to you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Very well. Thank you so much, Mataji. So this word is coming multiple times here. If you see the word in last verse, oh, this is very, very bewildering, right? On one hand, he's a supreme controller, and then he asked his friends to give food. Here also we see Lakshmi, thousands of Lakshmi sahasra shatasam brahmasivyamanam. What Brahma speaks in the Brahma Samhita. That there are thousands, hundreds of Lakshmis are waiting to serve him. But that Supreme Lord, Tad yachana janam mohini, right? And that his begging would certainly astonish anyone, right? In this material world, if let's say some CEO of a famous company, I don't know, I'll take names here, very famous millionaire or billionaire, goes on the roads and starts to beg, won't it astonish people, right? Or comes to outside your home, hey, give me some food, I'm hungry. Won't you be astonished? Of course, you may give something, but first of all, it will be astonishing, is it not? Hey, you are the multi-billionaire and you're asking me for, So this is Krishna's, astonishing pastimes. We can't comprehend, Supreme Lord. What to speak of Supreme Lord? Vaishnavira Kriya Mudra Bhigya Namuja. We cannot even understand the activities of great souls. What they do, why they do. There are multiple reasons. But they're at a different level. They're different, different consciousness, different thought process. So I really like this point here. Lakshmi Swa Atma Dosha Apavargena. So Lakshmi has two faults. What are the two faults? Fickle and pride. Chanchala, right? Lakshmi is Chanchala. She doesn't stay at one place. And generally, wherever she is, that person will be proud. Most wealthy people are proud. There may be always exceptions, but generally these faults accompany her. Those materialistic people who have a lot of wealth, they are naturally proud, and the wealth is temporary. It may stay for some moments, sometimes some days, weeks, years, or at the very max, a lifetime. After that, one could be a pauper in the next life. What to speak of next life? Recently someone shared something. Oh, this tomato seller in India, in 5 days he sold like 2,000 crates of tomatoes and earned 1.5 crore rupees. And before that, he was just like a roadside tomato seller. Well, like Lakshmi is Chanchala, right? A beggar can become a king, and a king can become a pauper. But when she is serving Krishna, Vishnu, she puts aside her faults. That means she leaves her fickle nature. That means she does not move from there. She leaves her pride. She leaves her fickle, because Lakshmi is always at the lotus feet, known for pastimes. And that personality, whose feet thousands of Lakshmis are serving, and everyone is running after Lakshmi, and Lakshmi is running after serving Krishna's lotus feet, right? And that Krishna is begging. That is very astonishing. It's interesting, right? Beggars are running after Lakshmi. Lakshmi is running after Krishna, and that Krishna is begging. Right? We're all begging Lakshmi, right? To our boss, in a fancy way, right? Like a job, boss, business, right? Customer, everyone is begging, right? Give me money. And that Lakshmi is running after Krishna, and then Krishna is taking the role of a beggar. So, but of course, Janma Karma, Nityaṁ, it's not an ordinary beggar. It's transcendental. Everything is transcendental. Therefore, it is atyanta vidambanam, as Kunti Mata says, Janma Karma cha Vishvatman, O soul of the universe. Your activities are so bewildering. So, and also we see that when we engage Lakshmi in Krishna's service, then she will leave her two faults. Very important lesson also. If we don't engage Lakshmi, because Lakshmi is a chaste wife, a chaste wife will always accompany the husband, and who is Krishna or Vishnu. If we try to allure the chaste wife by rejecting the husband, hey, husband not invited, only you come for my enjoyment. I want to enjoy money or the pleasures which come from money, right? Hiranyakashipu mentality, right? Pleasure of soft bed and gold. Gold means money. Then Lakshmi, then the husband will basically kill that person, Hiranyakashipu, right? And Lakshmi won't stay there. And that also is seen. So in short, Lakshmi should always be engaged in the service of the Lord. And we also see the bewildering nature of Krishna's activities. Any other thoughts or comments here? Any additions? Okay, text. Let's read the next two. So we have a few more. Let's see if we can complete this today. 48 and 49. Yeah, let's try to complete this chapter. Anyone wants to please raise your hand, like always, like, so it's easy for me who want to read and in a position to read. So it's not, asking the same thing. Anyone in a position to read, please raise your hands. We'll try to cover all the questions.
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Kṛṣṇa devotees, Pranam, all gracious Śrīla Prabhupada. Text 48, 49. Desha kalo pithak drabbam mantra tantra tijo agunno devata jama yaja manascha krotur dharmascha yan mayo she evo bhagavan sakshat Vishnu Yogeshwara Ishwara Jato Judushu iti asnam hi opi mudha no vidmahe. Translation by the disciples of His Divine Grace is Bhesi Bhakti Śrīla Prabhupada and his disciples ki joy. All the aspects of sacrifice, the auspicious place and time, the various items of paraphernalia, the Vedic hymns, the prescribed rituals, the priest, the sacrificial fires, the demigods, the patron of the sacrifice, the sacrificial offering, and the pious results obtained, all are simply manifestations of His opulences. Yet even though we had heard that the Supreme Personal Godhead, Vishnu, the Lord of all mystic controllers, has taken birth in the Jodu dynasty, we are so foolish that we could not recognize Sri Krishna to be none other than Him. Suppose I missed few classes, so I believe this is the Brahmanas repenting that they could not recognize the Lord, and though everything is obvious, but that the spiritual eye that Brahmana did not have until then. Back to Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna, Baldev Prabhu. So the Brahmanas are reflecting here. For Yagya, of course, these days, a lot of things are required. Even today, even if you see in Iskcon, some Yagyas, a lot of arrangements need to be done. Of course, the real Yagya is Sankirtan Yagya, therefore. But these Brahmanas were doing Yagya, so they are reflecting. Desha, Kala, like time, place, situations, Dravya, paraphernalia, right? Mantra, Tantra, Agni, Devata, Yajman, all these, right, are basically simply manifestations of His opulence, right? And they are basically kind of regretting that we had heard that the Supreme Lord has appeared in the Yadu dynasty, but we still could not recognize Him. We still could recognize. And He came Himself, sent His friends, but still, everything, we were busy in all this. Sometimes the lesson is that we may be busy in, the nature is so beautiful, right? We may not be doing these yagyas, but the Brahmanas are doing this yagyas, so they're connecting. The nature is so beautiful, but who is the person behind the nature? The mountain is so beautiful. The ocean looks so beautiful, right? Or this weather is nice, the snow is nice, or some people may like the rain, some may like the snow, some may like the beach. But all these are, yad yad vibhoti mat satvam Śrīmad urjitam eva tat tat eva avagachatam mama amsha eva sambhavam. It is my amsha, Krishna says. It is certainly my ansha. It is basically everything is a manifestation of the Supreme Lord. But we forgot to see the hand of God. So a devotee must try to see the hand of God in every situation, especially if it comes in the form of direct, sometimes like direct hand, like Guru is saying something, senior Vaishnavas are saying something. It's like direct. Sometimes it could become through like an indirect, like, even an ant could teach us a lesson. So the real thing is that the Brahmanas are kind of thinking about this. So reflection is also a very, very important thing. Self-reflection, self-introspection, so we can work on our mistakes to improve them. And if we did something good, how can we improve? Continual improvement. What can we do better? And that only happens when we have a humble mood, right? Which the Brahmanas certainly have here. Any other thoughts anyone has? Okay. Yes, so Prabhu can read the next verse, 50.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji, and Hare Kṛṣṇa devotees. Text number 50. Tasmai namo bhagavate Krishnaya kunte medase yanmaya mohita niyo brahmana karma vatmasu. Translation. Let us offer obeisances unto Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His intelligence is never bewildered, whereas we, confused by his power of illusion, are simply wandering about on the paths of fruitive work. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, one full again. So here we can see that they're ready to offer obeisances unto the Lord Krishna. Of course, he is the intelligent of all the intelligence. Even though we have the quality, of course, his quality and quantity cannot be matched with any jiva. So that's why they're feeling that, confused by his power of illusion and are simply wandering on the paths of, because Krishna is, if somebody tries to cheat Krishna, he's the biggest of all cheats. And if somebody tries to steal, he is the biggest of all thieves, as we you wonderfully signed the Chaurastakam. And also, so Krishna steals away the dirt in our heart, and whenever heart becomes so clear, he steals our heart as well. So in this way, the Brahmanas are offering their prayers and begging for this. It's my understanding. Exactly.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Prabhu. This wonderful verse. So Brahmanas are offering prayers here, right? Tasmai namo bhag. Tasmai means unto him. So therefore, we should offer namo bhagavate, om namo bhagavate, right? We should offer our naman, our namaskar, our pranams, our humble obeisance to that Supreme Lord, Lord Purushottam, Lord Bhagavan Krishna, whose intelligence is Medhasa, Krishna Akuntha, right? See, our intelligence is tiny. His intelligence is infinite, never restricted. But we, yan maya mohita dhiyo, we are enchanted or allured by his maya, yan maya. But he is the one who is never allured. His intelligence is unrestricted, never restricted, because he's the source of all intelligence. He is the one who gives intelligence to everyone. He is the infinite knowledge. He's a reservoir of knowledge. He's a reservoir of intelligence. So, rather than being caught up in the fruitive activities, the Brahmanas are reflecting and offering. So when we offer prayer, two elements, many elements, prayer has many elements, but two elements are Krishna's greatness and our shortcomings. Right? And even to us, like, why do we go to a good doctor? Because good doctor has good intelligence, and I don't know anything about medicine, right? Even spiritual, anything, like a teacher. Why does a person goes to a teacher? Because a teacher knows the subject, and I don't know anything about that subject. I need help. So our lower position and the superiority. Chinmaya bhaskara tumi kiranera khanami. Krishna, you are like the sun. I am like the ray, a particle, karna. Kiran ki karna hai. Kiranera karnami. Kiran means ray. Karna means a particle of that ray. Prabhu tumi ami nitya das. You are master. I'm your eternal servant. Charane piyusha tava mama sukha suvabhava tava nam amrita mora asha. So Krishna, you are great. You are Vibhu, I am Anu. So here also Brahmana, same mood. Krishna, your intelligence is unparalleled, and I am the one who's always allured by Maya. Right? See, knowledge, mercy, blessings always flow from high to low. Right? Like, but water flows from high potential to low potential. Right? A ball flows down the hill, water flows down the hill, anything high potential to low potential, electricity, high potential to low potential. But the prayer can go up also. The mercy flows down, the prayer has to go up, correct? The prayer goes from low to high. If I think, oh, I am better than you, well, then why will I take shelter of you? Right? Oh, I have more knowledge than him or her. I know better than him or her. I can teach this teacher what to speak. What will he teach me? I'll teach him, right? Then why will I take a lower position? The prayer always go from low to high. Therefore, who can always chant? One who considers always himself or herself at a lower position. Das, 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 anu, das. Tad trinada pisuni chena. Taroriva sahishnana. Amanina manadina kirtaniya sadahara. Considering, like Yudhishthira, always considering others to be better. Then there is no question of pride. If I consider everyone to be better than me, then how can I be proud of anything? Right? How can then anyone, if I really consider everyone as Prabhu and Mataji, that means my superior, my mother, my master, my superior, then there is no question of ever considering, oh, they did not properly respect me. Oh, he said something I didn't like. Oh, why, why he gave me a little prasad or anything. There's no question of disrespect. Because I'm the servant. Even if I get a drop of water, I'm grateful. Right? That is the mood of Yudhishthira Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Haridas Thakur, any great soul we take. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself exhibited that mood, that everyone is better than me. Then their prayer will flow, right? Then prayer will flow. Naturally, the prayer flows from low to high, right? Then the surrender will flow. When Arjuna did not surrender in chapter 1, he was talking like very learned, of course, taking the role. He seemed a little pride also. I know a lot of tarka vitarka, gave a lot of good rational logic, right? But then he was confused. Maya mohita. His intelligence was bewildered, right? The hands were shaking, the hands are trembling, Gandiva is shaking. eyes are crying. He was totally confused and lost. Krishna, I take your shelter. Right? When we are in that stage, then we will feel the need to take shelter. So that calling is calling from the heart when we are genuinely feeling I am very lowly. This is not my real home. I'm suffering here at every moment. But still thinking, oh no, my life is set. I have a house, I have a wife, I have children, I have a job, I have a home. Everything is pretty much set. Then how will I take shelter? A shelter is when we really feel from the heart that this is, I am lacking everything. I'm lacking the real goal of life, right? Like someone who in there, therefore it says, when adversities come, when we really take shelter, right? So therefore Kunti Maharani is praying for adversities. Of course, that's, but at least we try to take shelter in all situations. Try. Life is short. So this is the mood. They are praying Krishna's greatness and their lowly position. They're praying about it and offering obeisance. Any other thoughts anyone wants to share? Okay, 51 and then 52 will complete these two verses and then this chapter will complete. Who has not read, wants to read, please? Nandini Mataji, if you can read. Anyone?
Prabhu Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Savena adya purusha swamaya mohitatmanam avidnyatanubhuvanam shantur shantum arhatya tikratam pramam. Translation by disciples of Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. We were bewildered by Lord Krishna's illusory potency and thus could not understand his influence as the original personality of Godhead. Now we hope he will kindly forgive our offenses. So just like Kalia said sorry, and so many people who are religious say come to their senses afterwards. There's always happy ending in Krishna consciousness. So Brahmanas also are saying sorry. We think that we cannot be bewildered by illusory energy. Oh, I'm such a pakka pandit, I puri pakoda pandit, I take bath 3 times a day, or whatever we may have, we may be getting proud of it. I do so many books, I'm so this, I'm so that. We always have this I. But it's all just illusion. That I stands for illusion, not iPhone, iPad. Everything is illusion. That if we ever think that we are great, Krishna is going to show us that we are the lowest. Back to you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Yeah. Prabhupada always shared this, like we should have a healthy fear, as Mataji said. There are accidents on the royal roads. So we should always have a healthy fear. And Maya is Krishna's energy. So any moment, Sabdhani hati, durgatna ghati. A moment of inattention could lead to havoc, right? So having a healthy fear that I'm vulnerable, I'm not. Prabhupada showed by his example that, Prabhupada, one time someone asked Prabhupada was praying intensely, and then someone asked Prabhupada, what were you praying? Prabhupada said, I was praying that I do not become a victim of Maya. And then he asked Prabhupada, you, victim of Maya? You're completely pure soul. Like there's no question of you becoming a victim of Maya, under the illusion of Maya. And then Prabhupada said, because I pray, then, therefore I don't become victim. So having a healthy fear. So here the Brahmanas, with knowledge, with scholarship, Maya may allure us. Maya may allure us. Therefore, I think it's somewhere it's also mentioned in Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they quote that one should not be too learned. One should not study too many books also. Then one will think, oh, I know a book which, so-and-so Prabhuji has not even heard about, right? So I'm special, right? That can also lead to pride. What is the use of all these books and verses and mantras and tantras? It's love for Krishna. How much that is being, genuinely there in the heart, that Krishna knows very well. We know that very well. So in short, we should be careful and always be on guard. Don't let the guards down. So here, if we go back to the 6 R's, the Brahmanas are doing a lot of reflection. They realize their mistake. Then they are remorseful or regretting about it, right? And then they are reforming also. What is the reformation? They're praying to Krishna, right? They're genuinely offering prayers. They're begging for forgiveness. We hope he will kindly forgive our offense. Right? In the previous verse, they are praying. We offer our obeisance to that Supreme Lord. There's basically reformation of the mistake. Earlier, you remember, they ignored, right? You remember? When the boys offered Dandavat Pranam, the Brahmanas, what to say, didn't give a damn, right? Right? Who are you? It's like, see, it's more insulting sometimes, right? Like if you say, okay, I'm busy, you come tomorrow, that's still okay. Then just even barely ignoring. Let's say someone comes to me and let's say we go to someone and you are speaking, you're trying to get their attention, you're trying to strike a conversation, and they don't look at you, they don't talk to you, there's no eye contact, there's nothing, and just they're busy in their work. How will we feel? And on the one side, then we try to approach it, and then they say, I'm sorry, I'm really busy today, can you please come tomorrow? What will we like? Okay, the second response at least 1,000,000 times better than the first one. Okay, maybe this person is genuinely busy, but I can go tomorrow. But completely oblivious. And these are kids, they don't know what they're asking, they don't know what they're doing. We know more. So this is a great lesson from pride to humility, right? Complete transformation. Lot of pride, complete humility, right? Krishna can turn the tables like anything. King can become pauper, pauper can become king. A very proud person, Krishna can humble him. Krishna can give strength and genuine pride to the humble also, right? This is Krishna. So we read this one. They're basically taking the 4th step, asking, they'll beg for forgiveness, or that's reformation, right? And they are constantly remembering also, right? That we did not, they're remembering their mistake. Like we did not give proper attention, we did not give proper food, we took the words of the boys as ordinary, and etc. Let's see the last verse. Anyone wants to read this?
Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji, can I read?
Sure, absolutely.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, everybody. The last text, Prabhuji. Iti swadha manus. Yes. Iti swadha manus mritya Krishne te kuta helana. Didrikshavo brajmatha Kansadbhitana chachalam. Thus reflecting on this, translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thus reflecting on the sin they had committed by neglecting Lord Krishna, they became very eager to see him. But being afraid of King Kamsa, they did not dare go to Vraj. So again, the Brahmanas are reflecting about upon what they had done. They hadn't welcomed.
You want to read the purport first, please?
Oh yeah, sorry. So realizing their offense against Lord Krishna and finally appreciating his almighty position, the Brahmanas naturally wanted to rush to Vraj and surrender at the lotus feet of the Lord. But they were afraid that Kamsa would certainly kill them when his spies reported that they had gone to Krishna. The Brahmanas' wives were absorbed in ecstatic Krishna consciousness and thus went to Krishna anyway, just as the gopi simply to dance with the Lord, traveled in the dead of night through a forest inhabited by wild animals. But the Brahmanas were not on such an advanced platform of Krishna consciousness, and thus overcome by fear of Kamsa, could not see the Lord face to face. So in this verse again, the Brahmanas are reflecting about their, I could say, misbehavior relating to Krishna. Though they know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but they didn't pay attention when he was here in front of them. The Brahmanas did not receive Krishna like the wives did. The wives, as soon as they heard that Krishna was there by the boys, they rushed with large pots of food and all to meet Krishna. But here the Brahmanas, they neglected the presence of Krishna. And now they are reflecting on that and they're regretting about their mistakes. And they want to go and meet, but they cannot because they are afraid of Kamsa. That's my reflection, Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa, back to you.
Your reflection about Brahmana's reflection. Thank
The
you.
Brahmanas. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji, for your wonderful reading and joining all the way. You're in Mauritius now, or which part
Yes,
of it?
I am. Yes, I am. Probably I'm joining after a long time. Sorry, Prabhuji. But I'm in touch. I'm reading all, so I can continue.
Very well. Thank you. So this beautiful chapter comes to an end at this verse. We see reflection is so important. Here Brahmanas realized that they did wrong. They wanted to improve. But still they're like just comparing their surrender and their wife's surrender. Certainly the wife's surrender is at a much higher level. Why?
Bhakti. Their wives have bhakti towards Krishna. But Brahmanas, it's only austerity.
We immediately gave the offerings, immediately, without considering the rules, regulations.
Very
And
nice.
regardless of the fact that their husbands, they used to be considered first guru. Some people think that it's a god, your husband, and still they went against the husband.
Yes, even now after the reformation of Brahmanas, still they are fearful. Arey Baba, Kamsa ne kuch keh diya to. Right? What if Kamsa catches up and got it? Hey, why are you going to Krishna? Yeah, you are supposed to. I am the king. I am the boss. Right? Like Prahlad was not afraid of his father. Correct? His father tried to kill him in every way, but he did not give up his devotion. But here the Brahmanas, they have surrendered. They want to surrender. They want to offer pranam. They want to see him, but they did not dare to. Correct? Right? That's what we read in this now, in this verse, that, they did not dare to go, being afraid of King Kamsa. So on the contrary, the wives, their husbands says, Baba, don't go. their children, their uncles, their father-in-law, and this and that, everyone, their own relatives. What Kangasais are like a king and a villain here, but their own people said, "Don't go. If you go, we will not allow you in." He said, "To hell with it." Right? You can't say a river not to go to the ocean, right? All the obstacles may come, the river will find its course. This comes in a beautiful story also when Krishna was playing under the Vamsi Vata, calling the gopis for rasa dance. One gopi was really by force restricted to not go, and it's mentioned that that gopi immediately gave up her external body to be with Krishna in the real spiritual body. No force can restrain true love. Of course, very high level, just talking and just sharing examples. But here the Brahmanas, were not completely fearless, completely saradharman paritachya. Whatever happened, right? If Krishna is with us, what can Kamsa do? Mare Krishna rakhe. Rakhe Krishna Marake. If Krishna is with us, what can Kamsa do? Right? And if Krishna is not with us, what is protection of Kamsa anyways going to do? If Krishna is not in our life, all these external things are vain anyways. And if Krishna is with us, these externals anyways don't matter. So the gopis or the Brahmana Patnis, this is the beautiful title of this chapter, they were blessed because of their pure, unalloyed, selfless, boundless, conditionless love for Krishna. Of course, Brahmanas also completely reformed, as we see in their beautiful journey, right? From a lot of pride to great humility. So, beautiful chapter to meditate upon. Yeah. Any other thoughts, comments, anything is struck you in this chapter you want to share with everyone?
Hare
Yes, ma'am.
Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, and at that time, the wise were not allowed to go outside. They have only heard about Krishna. And when the boys came for food, they just rushed with their pots of food to meet Krishna. That is amazing.
Wow.
I remember in the once I went to India in Bombay. I went to a temple. So I always meet only the Purohit, the priest. So once by chance, I just came to meet the Brahman, the priest wife, always with the head covered, till the neck. Yeah, so I was amazed to see that really the Brahmanas in India, they do not receive people from outside. So I just wanted to know how the Brahmanas, they are in the kitchen. So I just peeped through. I saw the lady. I met her. Because I told her frankly that I wanted to talk to her about her experience, because they don't go out. And really I was amazed, Prabhuji. They make nice food, everything. They don't look outside. And I'm thinking about at that time when Kamsa were there, what about the situation of the wives at that time? So really they were not going out, but they only heard about Krishna and they were so happy to meet Krishna and they just left their houses. This is my reflection, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Very thoughtful. Very thoughtful, like going really into the pastime. Yeah, that's what they call going into the pastime. Yeah, it was not like today's, modern, this kind of situation where they take their car out and drive to Krishna, right? They were going against all the social customs, family customs, and ancestral customs. So gave up everything to be with Krishna, right? Sarvasva Tomar, right? Serve all the so-called, and that's what Bhagavad Gita is all about, right? In a few lines, one Chaitanya Prabhu was also sharing this, to give up what the mind and the social thing wants to do socially what is right, morally or socially, or I think this is right, but from that to what is real dharma. And what is real dharma? Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Krishna defines the dharma. So from my thinking, I thinking to what Krishna wants. That's Bhagavad Gita also. So in one way, you see, Arjuna gave up his mentality, which was, some people still say, oh, Arjuna gave very valid points. I mean, why did Krishna ask him to fight? He didn't want to fight, then it would have been better, right? There would have been no war, no people would have been killed, right? Again, thinking with their own tiny mind. But yeah, you made a beautiful point that they gave up their everything, and that was at that time, it was not like Drishtva Shruto na Maya Kadapi, like it was unheard and unseen.
Mhm.
Any other thoughts anyone has? Okay. So we will pause here. You can again read this chapter if you wish to, share some thoughts, comments, or even if something really struck you, feel free to post in the group as a reflection or remembrance. And yeah, Baldev Prabhu will continue on Mondays and Wednesdays. I have something going on for next few weeks, so I won't be able to train on Mondays and Wednesdays, maybe till August, till this next month, and then it should end. But yeah, the other 4 days I'll be able, 4 days or 3 days, sorry, 3, 4, whatever, 3 will continue regular. So thank you again for your association. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhyaiva cha uttanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namaha. Granthraj
Thank you
Bhagavatam.
very much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hari Bol.
Hare
Prabhupada
Krishna.
ki jai.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Lakshay Prabhu.